Hopefully you saw my video yesterday about balancing your portfolio, particularly here at the end of the year. And what I was alluding to is the fact that you should be managing your portfolio like it's a business. And what I want to do in this video is dig in a little deeper into that. And how do you manage a business? And how do you compete with your competitors? And how do you set goals? And then how do you manage it through the rest of the year like it's a business? So let's dig into that.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Much like a business, you're in a competition every day. You have competitors. They're trying to beat you at your game. Whether you're a restaurant or you're Amazon.com, you have competitors, and you strive every day to make your business better so that you own the space that you're in. What I want you to recognize, though, is there's one of you, and there's many of them. And with that in mind, you have to determine how are you going to win against them. And as again, them have much more access to quantum computing, to technology, to things that you don't have. So how are you going to compete with them? And you must recognize that that's what you're doing. You're competing with the professionals, and you're also competing with the other amateurs. So my way of thinking of that is you have to become a specialist, not a generalist. If you're a generalist, then you need a staff. You need a large staff that can feed you information so that you can make good decisions. Now, I think some of you think your staff can be found on YouTube. Understand, you don't know their qualifications. You don't know if they know any more about what you want to learn than you do. So don't push off all the work to someone on YouTube. You will fail. Understand that many of these people that you're watching on YouTube have never seen a market crash other than the July 26th through roughly June 1st crash that we had this week, but that wasn't really a crash. That was a reaction to an event, and the event then corrected itself, at least for part of the market, once the market recognized what it was for what it was. Now, when you decide you're going to be a specialist, you understand you have some advantage. You don't have the government restrictions, the NASDA restrictions on what you can do and what you can't do. So you have an advantage. Use that advantage to your benefit and do your research. I suggest strongly that you become a specialist. Let me give you an example of what becoming a specialist looks like. You know of the Fidelity funds, the Vanguard funds. You know of the S&P 500. You probably know also of ARK Investments, and that's Kathy Wood's company. You can recognize from that she has become a specialist. She has basically focused in on the changes in technology and the disruption of technology and those things that are going to be important in the future. She doesn't so much base her business on the past. That's what the conventional mutual fund companies, that's what most investors, as you will see, they will talk about charts and graphs, and that's all based on past activity. They even have a 200-day moving average. You're not looking for the average. You're looking for the exceptional. So you have to look into the future, not into the past. You don't want to base your decisions based on PE ratios because the PE ratio that you're really interested in is the one 3 to 5 years from now. And there are some people who are beginning to see that. There is no other way that you can justify the price on Tesla or NIO, but the prices hold up because They're looking at what in fact happened with Google, Facebook, and Amazon. They didn't make a profit for a long time, but they were in front of a change. And that change then has paid huge dividends because most of the investors were looking on past performance and basing their investments on that. So that's what I base my investments on. I look at the future, and I would encourage you to read this book. The Future is Faster Than You Think. You'll find a link to it in the description below, as well as several other books that I think are must-reading if you're going to compete against these giants. What I will guarantee you is the manager of Fidelity's growth fund or Vanguard's growth fund has not read this book. They haven't even read the basic book of what got us here as we are, the accidental superpower. They haven't read them. So that's where you gain your advantage over them. They're bogged down at meetings and projections and past history and justification of what they're doing. You should take that time and educate yourself and become a specialist. Don't invest in the past. Have a vision of the future. And what I mean by that, if I sat down with you and I said, John, what do you think the future is going to look like in 5 years? You could specifically tell me what's going to change. And that's how you need to invest. If I ask John that and he says, I don't know, then he shouldn't be in the stock market. He should have his money should be with Kathy Woods. Because if you'll watch an interview with Kathy, she has a vision of the future. And she is investing in that future. If you, though, want to do it for yourself, you need to bring yourself up to her speed. Who's going to take us into the future? Once you have that vision, who's going to take us there? That's who you need to invest in. I want to invest in electronic vehicles. I believe by 2030, the majority of the vehicles on the streets are going to be electric. They're going to be autonomous. There's all kinds of spin-offs about that as well. So I want to be in that space. I read about that space. I watch videos on that space. I believe 5G. And in specific, I believe the smart home, the Internet of Everything, the smart toilet, the smart toothbrush, the smart mirror. I believe these things are coming, so I need to decide who's going to make them available, who's on the same page that I'm on. Biotech. I believe that the world will not look anything like it does in 5 years because of biotech. I believe our healthcare system will change dramatically, and we will go into preventive medicine rather than observation. Do you have any pain, Carrie? No. Do you have any screwed up genomes, Carrie? Yes, you do. You have a propensity for cancer. I knew that. Let's get rid of it. That's the future. Do I want to have children that have a propensity for cancer? No, I don't. Does the healthcare system want me to have children that has a propensity for cancer? No, they don't, because they become a drain on our society. It costs a lot of money to keep people alive with cancer or heart disease or Alzheimer's. So there is some financial reward at the end of this by curing these diseases. You need to know that. In addition to that, you need to know that all the people who are making the big decisions on this, whether to put money into it or not, are baby boomers. They're between 53 and 75 years of age. What do you think their number one objective is? To live longer. Okay, they don't care about the house on the beach anymore because they've got that. They don't care about the Tesla or Cadillac or Mercedes because they got that. What they don't got is lifespan. So that's where the money's going to go. So that's where I want to go. I also need to recognize and understand artificial intelligence, Machine learning. How's that going to change my life? Who's going to do it for me? Who has the money to make it happen? And then there's robotics. Get a view inside Amazon's distribution centers. Look at all the robots running around. Go get a tour of a Mercedes-Benz automobile plant or a Tesla automobile plant. See what robotics looks like, because that's the future. Now, who is going to then bring that future to you? That's how you manage your portfolio. You educate yourself. I'll guarantee you, the guys at Fidelity and Vanguard aren't doing it. They're looking at the past graphs. They're looking at the energy business and saying, is there an opportunity there? Look at banking. It's suppressed. Let's invest there. Come on. Oh, Ford's at a good price. General Motors, General Electric. Look how far down that is. That's a value stock. There's no reason to buy value stocks. They're a value because they aren't selling for a price that anybody wants to own them at. The future is coming faster than you think. That's where you want to invest. Delivery of health care. Because of the pandemic, that's got to change. There will be a meeting in Davos, Switzerland. I've said this before. And they will sit down at a table, and there will be 500 people, a big table, and they'll say, this can never happen again. And you know that. You know that's what they're going to say. So invest accordingly. Become a specialist, not a generalist. Don't be chasing penny stocks. Chase the future. Get in front of the future. So the future has to come through you, because you are an owner of the companies that are going to deliver it. What are some of the past events that changed the world? So that you can recognize how, if you were there at the time, you could have become a billionaire. World War II changed the world. Changed the world. I mean, the structure of the power system of the world. And what did they say at Bretton Woods in July of 1945? This can never happen again. And that's what we built our world economy on. They're going to say it again. TV. I saw this. I was the kid who used to listen to the radio, and then in 1953, my dad brought home this box with this little screen in the front of it, and for 3 hours a night, it lit up, and there were people on it, and then during the day, Howdy Doody showed up. And Winky Dinky. My life changed, and the world changed right around it. But I didn't have any money. I couldn't invest in it. How about the telephone? Many of you don't remember party lines or the dialed phone. It changed the world. It created AT&T. They've kind of screwed it up since then. The automobile. My grandfather sat on the porch in Cincinnati, Ohio, on Coleraine Avenue, saw automobiles going down the street and said, that'll never happen. Nobody's going to give up the horse and buggy. The roads outside the city are all mud. Those things can't move only within the city. And besides, we can walk everywhere we want to go. The automobile. How about the internet? I remember that. I'm not going to learn that. The birth of Microsoft, of Apple, IBM. If you had gotten in front of it, where would you be today? How about the mobile phone? How about 4G? How about social media? Those were changes. Now, what are the changes of the future? The pandemic. It is equivalent to World War II. It will change our world. This can never happen again. You need to get out in front of it. You need to invest in the companies that are going to change the delivery of the healthcare system. Who are they? Well, I think Amazon is one. I think Apple is one. They have the data. It's going to be, how do we predict what's going to happen next? We gather the data, we compare the data, we feed the data back, we put Carrie on top of a smart toilet every morning. We analyze his poop, his pee, his tooth, a smart toothbrush, a smart mirror. Who has the data to do that? Who has the computing power to do that? To then notify my phone that says, Carrie, you need to get your butt to the hospital. You got problems. Or, go, Carrie, you're good. You can get on a cruise ship. Your phone will be your ticket that will let you into restaurants, into movie theaters, into the world that we hope we can live in. And again, you need to invest in that. You need to be a specialist, have read these books, so you know what's going to happen. No one else does. Trust me, no one else does. Over Christmas, I would talk to people like this, and their eyes would glaze over. I don't need to know about that. Let's go to the beach. They don't live in the world. They don't see beyond today, the minute. You need to look beyond today, beyond the minute. You need to be the smartest guy in the room. That's as simple as I can put it. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, you need to know what it is. How is the world of transportation going to change? Do you believe there's going to be flying cars? That Uber's going to provide them to you? Do you believe there will be autonomous automobiles that will come up with nobody in them and take you where you want to go? If you believe that, and you have a vision of it, and you understand it, and you've read, then you'll invest in it. Because you're a specialist. You're not a generalist. You don't care. You don't care about the price of oil. You don't care about the price of electricity or copper or any of that. You don't care about marijuana. Because it's going to happen. Okay, but it's not going to change the world. Okay? And then real estate. You need to understand that the world of real estate is changing. I was at the beach, and a real estate agent was telling me about a call that they got for a house, not even near the beach, for over $1 million. And the gentleman on the other end of the phone was calling from New York City, and he said, I want that house. I've seen the pictures on Zillow. I want that house. Well, sir, we have 3 bids on it right now, so we need to straighten those out. What are the bids? I'll up them. I don't care what it is. The dude had never been to I imagine he'd been to Florida. He knew this. He'd never seen the house. He bought it on the spot. He's going to sell his whatever he's got in New York City and move. That is a migration that is happening. You need to understand it. You need to know that the blue states, are coming. They're coming south. They're coming southwest. That's going to be a change. If that's your gig, you need to get in front of it. Okay. That's how you need to manage your portfolio like a business. Like I said yesterday in the video, you need to decide what business you're in. I'm in electric vehicles, 5G, and biotech. I am becoming an expert in that. That's what I do. That's what I study. Those are the stocks I buy. Those are the values I see. So I'm not competing with them. I'm finding my niche where I can be better than them, and I can win. Now, what do I want that to achieve? I have to have a goal. As a business, I have to have a goal. My goal this year is to increase my portfolio by over 50%, my return on my investment. So I've got to manage the stocks. And I told you yesterday how I'm going to pair some of my holdings to raise cash to buy more biotech. If you want to see the specific holdings that I have, go to bestofusinvestors.com. Give me your name and your email address. That'll do 2 things. I'll send you a link to our Discord where I share all this, where I share my portfolio, where I share my daily trades, where I share my insights, and where I give you in-depth information about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then you can make a decision. Also, there we have you're going to find about 7,000 other people. And they're going to share their ideas with you, and you can share your ideas and get bounced back and forth. Because what we truly want to do is build a research department comparable to that of Kathy Woods that is specific to what we want to invest in, to what our business, our portfolio is all about. And then we will achieve the 3 goals that we have set out as members of the tribe of Best of Us investors. And that is, number 1, say it. So go ahead, say it. Make good, sound investment decisions. Number 2, that's right. Keep more of what we make by understanding the tax code. And number 3, build family wealth. Right now, the government will allow us as a couple, Nita and I, to pass on $24 million. That's our goal. We figure we got 10 more years. So I need a 50% return on my investment or more every year. That's our goal. We have a goal. Hey, that sounds like a business. We have a plan. That sounds like a business. We specialize in the areas that we understand. That sounds like a business. What a revelation. This is much easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, see you at the Discord where the tribe meets, or you can go into the description and you can find a link there to the Discord. But in the next 2 days, I'm going to be doing some buying and selling and paring down so that I have some cash. And then I'm going to also share with you those companies that I'm looking to buy. Okay, I enjoyed this. I'll invite you back next time. In fact, why don't you come tomorrow morning? I got something else I want to talk to you about.